We're going to show you downtown Nice, that beautiful city in the south of France and the Côte d'Azur. We'll take you down the main shopping street, show you some of the side lanes, and do a little wine tasting. You'll obviously take time to explore Nice's main commercial street, Avenue Jean Medicin, stretching about 10 blocks from Place Massena north to the train station, and packed with many boutiques and anchored at the lower end by the large department store, Galeries Lafayette. You can see on the map of downtown how the main street goes right through the middle, just near the old town and the busy shopping hub of Place Massena, and we'll also take you over to another great pedestrian street, Rue de France. There is a convenient new tram service in Nice running along the main avenue, practically from the beach and all the way to the train station and beyond, which makes it very easy to get from one end of town to the other. So it's really not too critical that you stay at a hotel down by the waterfront, but of course it is more pleasant to be down by the shore. Riding along on this new tram is a very smooth experience. The tracks are still quite level, so you have a nice view of downtown passing by as you look out the windows. The tram is convenient because it's right at street level, so it's easy to just walk right on, and there are stops every few blocks, so it's easy to catch. And trams like this have become quite popular once again in Europe. It's sort of a rebirth of an old idea. A lot of money has been spent by the government to upgrade and improve this city with the new tram and new parks, really enhancing the quality of life. Here's a quick flashback to the year 2006 showing the amount of construction work necessary to create this tram line down the main street. It's all finished now. It's really quite wonderful to see how this main street has been transformed in recent years by the tram. All the automobiles have been removed except service vehicles, sidewalks widened. Now it's a great place for pedestrians and bicycles and people, and the tram running down the middle. When locals are referring to this street, they don't even call it Avenue Jean Medicin, they just say the Avenue, because it's by far the primary shopping street of Nice. Place Massena is a great hub of the city, straddling between the old town and the new town, and adjacent to it are beautiful arcades of Galeries Lafayette and other major stores. Just beyond that central square is a remarkable new park called the Promenade Dupione. It's 1.2 kilometers in length, and it's a result of nearly 10 years of urban redevelopment in the heart of Nice. They ripped down an old bus station, they removed various other buildings, and they put in this beautiful park with a mirrored reflecting fountain. It's kind of a trick fountain. You can walk through it if you dare. It covers over 3,000 square meters with the beautiful trees and green lawns all around it, cafe services. It's a great place for the families, and it's open from early in the morning till late at night. Very safe and clean. It's well protected. There's a lot of staff around, public facilities. It's really a sterling example of urban renewal. The park is also open in the evening, so it's a great place for the families to come out after work, before dinner, enjoying the playground facilities. The park is right next to Place Massena, so it's really easy to get back into the shopping part of town from here. It just takes a couple of minutes, and you're walking along this beautiful arcaded street. We're at the lower end of the Avenue, and there are more shops tucked away in these arcades. That great department store, Galeries Lafayette, the largest department store chain you find throughout France. The Italian-style architecture of these arcades with their red ochre construction harkens back to the days a century ago when Nice was more Italian than French. From here, it's only a 2-minute walk south to the beach, or turn around and plunge back into the downtown shopping arena. This colorful shop called Pilon was founded in France in 1985. It's a gift shop with a variety of colorful and animated objects and innovative designs, and it's been a big hit. You see it now in just about every city in France. The Basilica of Notre Dame is the largest church in Nice. It was completed in 1868 in the Gothic style, but it's not the cathedral, which is in the Old Town. In the midst of this busy street, the church was pretty empty, but right across the street there's another kind of cathedral for shopping, and that was packed. This urban shopping mall on the main street of Nice offers 100 shops in a very stylish setting. Of course, you'll also find restaurants, bars, and cafés inside. Nice Étoile. It's wonderful that this modern multi-level shopping mall is right in the heart of downtown, so it complements the existing street-level retail rather than luring people outside of the city. Back out on the main street, we ran into a little political demonstration. That's a common sight throughout Europe. When exploring the downtown of Nice, don't limit yourself to the main avenue. There are interesting streets along both sides. A good example is this lovely pedestrian zone in the newer part of Nice. This is Rue de France. It used to be the main street of the city about 100 years ago, and it's still one of the most important streets. Fortunately, been converted into a pedestrian mall. A lot of shops, restaurants, and there's some hotels scattered along this street, and it'll lead you right back towards Place Massena. It runs parallel to the shore about 4 blocks inland. It's a wonderful street. Boulevard Victor Hugo is the main road with many affordable hotels that cuts right through this central area. This is the kind of really local and authentic neighborhood that's often overlooked by typical guidebooks and video tours, but this is really part of the heart and soul of Nice. This is where locals hang out, where they go shopping, where they get a bite to eat, go to the cafe, have a beer, which makes it a good place for shopping and for people watching. It's so amazing how these pedestrian streets have transformed the cities of Europe. Just a decade ago, these kinds of streets would have been filled with cars and trucks and pollution and noise, and the movement swept through the continent to convert these little streets in the heart of the town into pedestrian malls. But over on the east side of downtown, they still have streets with cars and narrow sidewalks, and it's exciting. It's a hustle-bustle neighborhood. Again, not many tourists over here, but you should come over and take a look just a few blocks east of the main avenue. You've got lively streets and shops everywhere, sidewalk cafes, views back at Notre Dame. As you walk along, you even get a view of the National Theater, a large modern building, and other side streets that wind around. It's a great place to explore. There's a wonderful Matisse Museum located in a park slightly away from the center of town, a little too far to walk to, but you can easily reach it by public bus or just take a taxi. Matisse lived in the city of Nice for many years and created some of his finest paintings here. You might be able to visualize some of those scenes that were painted from his room looking out onto the beautiful blue sea with the bright colors of the south of France and Provence. Just next to the Matisse Museum, they love to play pétanque or boule. The idea is to get your ball near the little red ball and to knock the other balls as far away as possible. This is the national sport of France, especially here in the south of France, rivaling only perhaps football, or as we say, soccer. It's believed that some variation of this game has been played for several thousand years, and you can see why. It's a casual, friendly game. It's a chance to socialize and have a little fun. Next to the Matisse Museum are some major Roman ruins, a small amphitheater, housing foundations, and a small archaeology museum that remind us the Romans had a major presence here 2,000 years ago. Several other Nice museums will compete for your attention. The Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art and the Chagall Museum with the world's largest collection of the artist's works. France is a wine country. There's no question, France produces the best wine in the world. And there's something special about it. It becomes a ritual. In the case of the Beaujolais Nouveau, it's an annual event on the third Thursday of November every year. It's the official release of Beaujolais Nouveau, which is a fresh, young wine. In fact, it's in the bottle 8 weeks after it's been harvested. So it's very fresh and very young. And it's kind of a pink-purple color. And frankly, it's not the best wine of France. It's kind of raw. You can get much better Bordeaux's that are aged for 5 or 10 years. But this is a fun thing because the wine shops celebrate with the release of Beaujolais Nouveau with free tastings. So people come down and line up on the sidewalk and gather around and, oh, this is great fun, free wine. It's a national holiday of sorts. Celebrated around the world because these cases and container loads are shipped everywhere, and it's a special day when Beaujolais Nouveau arrives. They sell 1 million cases of this Beaujolais Nouveau all around the world. Half of it is consumed within France. It's the biggest wine party ever on the day that it's released.
A wine that has been harvested, the grape has been harvested this year in September. And so it's a great party every year in France, the third Thursday of every November comes out the Beaujolais Nouveau.
These are the new ones.
This is the new one, so it's vintage 2013, as it says in the bottle. And so forbidden by the law to open it before today, so it's
Oh, really?
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Why not?
Better not.
Has it been a good year? 2013?
I think it's been a good year.
2013, it was a good year.
Very good.
It was 2013.
Banana, raspberry, strawberry even sometimes. And so that's a classic Beaujolais Nouveau.
So today is Beaujolais Nouveau Day.
Yes, I like it.
It's a good year.
Yeah, it's a good year. Thank you.
After such a busy evening with all that walking through the old town and sampling the Beaujolais, got to get some rest and then up and at 'em the next day. I was out quite early for a walk right after breakfast and was surprised to find so many people out. The cafe was alive, there was customers sitting around. This is most unusual. And the lighting was beautiful. It seemed like too good to be real. It almost seemed like, wait a minute, it is a movie shoot. Yeah, these guys have got their equipment and cameras and they're working hard at about 7:30 in the morning. It's almost inevitable if you spend enough time in these beautiful places, you're going to run into film productions. Maybe they're shooting a commercial, perhaps it's an episode for a television program, maybe it's a feature film. There might even be a famous star around somewhere. But it's best just to kind of stay out of their way. You can take a look, you can take a few pictures if you like, but just don't cause any problems. Another surprise this early was to see so much action at a pub. Well, they drank a lot of beer last night, apparently. They've got to restock all those barrels. Well, folks, it's finally time to leave Nice. We've enjoyed a long visit here. We've shown you all around the town, the old town, the downtown. We've also taken you to nearby cities and other movies, over to Cannes and Antibes, Saint Paul, over to Vence, Monaco, all around this amazing Côte d'Azur. Now we're heading out. We're taking taxi over to the train station, and we will continue on our merry journey to the next destination, which is going to be the Italian Riviera. We're heading for Cinque Terre. It's a pretty long train ride from Nice to Santa Margherita. That will be our base for exploring Cinque Terre and Portofino and other sites of that area. The train makes a brief stop in Monaco, one of the cleanest train stations you'll ever see. We have a big movie about Monaco you've got to take a look at. It's the world's richest country and in many ways an ideal model of urban planning. But that's another story. And then we carry on along the coast with some beautiful views of the Mediterranean Sea out the window. We've got a lot more movies about Provence and the south of France. Take a look at our YouTube channel.